KX News Storm Team.
Welcome back to KX News at 4. I'm meteorologist Michael Gonzalez, and here's a live look across our KX Cam network. At this hour, you'll have to pick the odd one out across our 4 cameras. It would be Bowman there, the only place that we're not seeing that wintry landscape where they missed out on some of that snow last night, but the temperature is still there at 27 degrees and brisk northwesterly winds there at about 30 miles per hour. In fact, it's fairly breezy across all 4 of our major locations across the region right now, with again Bismarck, Minot, Williston seeing those snowy conditions, or at least snowy roads, I should say. The snow is just about coming to an end. This is what we received just over the last 24 hours snow-wise. This is, of course, a radar estimate, but it gives us a general idea of some of the snow totals that we saw. And some of the reports range anywhere from about 3 to 6 inches. Even a few areas were a little bit upwards of 6 inches, and perhaps even a few hot spots received around 8 inches throughout parts of central and south central North Dakota. So, of course, send in your reports if you have any. We'd love to see them. And this map over here is probably underestimating just a little bit how much snow they received out towards Williston and Bowman, just because they're pretty far away from the Doppler radar. But again, this gives us a good picture. So it was a pretty good amount of snow that we had just the last 24 hours or so. The snow is coming to an end. We just have a few flurries that continue to hang on east of Bismarck, between Bismarck and Jamestown in the Medina area. These should come to an end here in the next couple of hours, and that'll leave the rest of the region fairly dry. We are still seeing some slick roads across the region this evening, and of course those temperatures are going to remain below freezing for a while. So the NDDOT's friction sensors are detecting fair friction along the interstate in the Bismarck area, but worse friction as you go west. So even though the radar is cleared out and no more snow is falling, roads are still slick. So if you're going to be driving out and about anywhere, just know that the road conditions have not quite cleared up. And of course, the winds persist, so blowing snow in at least a few areas may remain a concern. As we zoom out, we'll see what the general pattern's looking like. The low pressure that brought us that snow has pretty quickly drifted off into Minnesota, producing quite heavy snow in the Fargo region in northeastern South Dakota. But now that we're on the backside of it, we are just getting this conveyor belt of cold air coming straight out of Canada. And this polar high pressure system that's just over in eastern Montana is going to drift off to the southeast over the next couple of days, and that'll keep temperatures very, very chilly. And with that wind out of the northwest, we're going to be having those wind chills come on down quite a bit, at least tonight. We're seeing temperatures across the region right now hanging there in the low to mid 20s. A few areas still hanging on to 30 degrees over towards the eastern part of our region, but some low 20s and even upper teens over towards Williston and northeastern Montana. And those wind chills, once you factor in that breeze, it's feeling like it's in the single digits to even mid-teens across the region. So feeling quite brisk, and you're going to want to stay bundled up for the remainder of this week, I would say. A winter weather advisory remains in effect for our southeastern counties, including Bismarck, for the next few hours, just because those winds are remaining gusty up to about 40 miles per hour, and those roads are going to remain slippery. So take it easy on the roads. Even if the snow's not falling anymore, those roads might not be perfect for driving, at least for a few more hours. And as we can see on the wind gust forecast, those gusts will remain again in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range, especially across our eastern counties along Highway 83 for at least the next few hours. By the time we get into the overnight hours tonight, winds will come on down quite a bit, and by tomorrow it should be light winds across the board, still out of the northwest as some of that cold air makes its way on in. But the good thing is skies will be fair and the winds will be much calmer. We'll be looking at, again, those mostly sunny skies, partly cloudy skies, and highs broadly in the mid to upper 20s, even some lower 20s off towards northwestern North Dakota. But without the wind, it might feel a little bit nicer at least than it did today when we had all that snow falling. And as we look ahead towards Thanksgiving, the good thing is we're not going to see that snow return, at least for the next couple of days. And for Thanksgiving, we'll be looking at highs between 15 and 25 with partly sunny skies and overall calm conditions. So it looks like it'll be fairly beautiful if you ignore the temperatures just looking out the window. And that snow will remain on the ground because, again, we will not be getting above freezing for a little while. Then we'll see another system that'll move in on Friday. Right now, it's unclear exactly how much we're going to receive, but potentially a few more inches of snow could be in the works there for Bismarck and Dickinson, especially over towards southwestern North Dakota by the time we get into your Friday. And looking ahead towards the weekend, we will have another system that moves in with that snow there on Friday, and it'll bring in a very, very cold air mass by the time we get into this coming weekend. We'll have highs down there in the teens, as we will see on Williston's next 5 days. High of 11 there on Saturday, high of 7 on Sunday, and below 0 lows there by Saturday night. And Dickinson just about the same. More snow chances there on Friday, not nearly as significant as this most recent system, and then highs there in the teens by this weekend. And Minot's next 7 days show that return of potentially a slight chance of snow there on Friday, then much, much colder for this weekend. Highs there in the single digits on Sunday. Bismarck just about the same. We could see our first below 0 low there, perhaps by Saturday or Sunday night. Joel?
Michael, I think I'm going to have to go ring a few doorbells and check on some neighbors because, boy, the stuff from this morning, this is some heavy, wet snow. You really have to take your time shoveling this stuff. It is a workout.
I would say, and it probably didn't help having that rain last night, too. So it's snow on top of rain, and it's so cold, just not ideal for driving around. So
The nice thing is that we're still at the point where you can shovel and hit bare concrete, so at least that's a little rewarding, but we're not done with it just yet.
That's true. I don't think it's going anywhere with these kinds of temperatures we have coming up.
Cold nights ahead, Michael. Thank you so much. Still to come on